Hello Plus League fans, you're watching the Kuan and Ryan Show. It's finally time to get to the team actually we might be most familiar with, the Ryukyu Golden Kings of the B League, a traditional powerhouse in the Japanese basketball scenes. And I say Taiwanese fans are most familiar because they've already played the Taipei Fulton Bears 3 times in 2023. As mentioned, being a powerhouse, they won the BJ League title 4 times, but in the B League, they've had the best record and only won their first title last season. So we'll kind of start to break that down, maybe starting with a familiar name we mentioned in the Meralco Bolts episode, and Alan Durham. He was the championship MVP, or what they call the playoff MVP.
Yeah, since they've already matched up once at this point, we talked about this a little bit in the Bolts episode, like you said. But he's not just any import for the Bolts either. He led them to 3 PBA Governors Cup champions, and he was 3-time import of the year. So he has some history embedded with that team. Now with the Golden Kings, that only solidifies their already powerhouse status.
Absolutely. They of course play in what we mentioned before in the very first episode, the beautiful Okinawa Arena, opened up in 2021, a FIBA World Cup venue. It's quite impressive to be there. And talking about their basketball culture from the island of Okinawa, we have to start with the number 14, guard Ryuichi Kishimoto, who's actually an Okinawa born and raised, and his underdog story kind of matches from Slam Dunk Gongchen Liangtian, which is a lot of fun. He's kind of the focal point of that team wherever they show up.
Yeah, he's kind of the traditional, drive the offense kind of guard, with the ability, obviously, to shoot a little bit from the outside, but more importantly, I think he dissects the defense really well. He kind of opens up their batch of shooters outside. So him, along with some of the names I'm sure you're going to bring up later, he is definitely one of the staples on this team.
Yeah, and he also has plus 3-point range, kind of like Yuki Togashi, who we mentioned in the Chiba Jets episode. Some guy who's kind of emerged recently from their side is number 30. He's a wing player, Kita Imamura. He's also one of those guys with a beautiful stroke who, whenever he shoots, you're kind of afraid. And him, along with a lot of their roster composition, can all spread the floor. Just like the Jets, the Golden Kings are really spread out, and I think they leave all the work in the middle to their import players.
Yeah, I think he particularly is one of the biggest. He benefits the most from Kishimoto's gravity, I want to say. So far in 3 games, he is shooting 50% from downtown. So, like you said, he is someone traditionally you think as a sniper, as a 3-point shooter. When he shoots, you expect it to go in.
All right. Well, just like the Braves and the Kings have an Asian import, the Ryukyu Golden Kings have number 33, a forward in Carl Tamayo, who actually made his debut right around the time the Golden Kings played the Braves in the East Asia Super League's championship week back in March. Only 22 years old, and is a fan favorite coming out of the Philippines. And the ceiling is absolutely so high with this guy, being so tall and has the skills he has, really adds an interesting dynamic to their team.
Yeah, I would kind of describe him as more of a Swiss Army knife, so to speak. He kind of does everything. Has, like you said, has good size at his position. You add that to the shooter, the point guard. They have a complete team. I'm sure the last guy you're going to bring up is probably Jack Cooley.
Yeah, absolutely. Leading the B League in rebounds year after year after year. Jack Cooley is actually kind of different than what you would think of an import who might come over to Asia. He actually doesn't take that many shots, and especially does not take hardly any shots from the outside, but he's sometimes described as the best import on the squad often.
Yeah, so I think fans are definitely familiar with him because when he's on, he has a presence to him. He just recently returned to the team, and I think from my observation, he like you said, he's not an import that shoots a lot or scores a lot, but he also opens up the offense, so to speak, right? They're shooting over 40% from deep as a team this season, even before he came. But his biggest attribute, I would say, is his offensive rebounding ability. And as we know, offensive rebound often opens up defense scrambles, opens up open shots. So I think that's only going to benefit their already superior shooting abilities.
Yeah, and the actually Golden Kings and the Chiba Jets at the same time early in the season also have to participate in a special Basketball Tournament Cup. And so they're actually kind of used to playing so many games, and throwing in an East Asia Super League, of course, complicates things a little bit, but the Japanese are very used to, pretty long seasons, lots of games on their schedule. But it'll be an interesting challenge. They are currently 2 wins, 1 loss as of this recording in the East Asia Super League. So the Kings, looking forward to, changing up the matchup when it comes to a team from the Plus League. We'll get to look forward to that in the future.
Yeah, that would be certainly a powerhouse matchup, so to speak. And I think to add on one last thing for the Golden Kings, I think if we're kind of doing the scouting report for our Kings, the new Taipei Kings, I would say look out for their fluid ball movement. They're what I like to call a very traditional Japanese playing style kind of team. I mentioned the 40% from downtown. They're also averaging over 21 assists per game. So I think that kind of opens up, like you can't really single out a player on defense to, if you stop him, the whole offense stops to a halt. That makes them difficult to guard. And if I were to give the Kings a little advice, I would say look out for the screens, look out for the off-ball shooters.
Yeah, it'll be a big challenge because the New Taipei Kings have a very busy January schedule, both domestically and internationally. So when that comes around, it'll be a big challenge. But of course, you're always trying to see what teams do when they're tested the most, and if they can come through, they're really worthy of being described as the best team in the league. I think that does it for us when it comes to the Ryukyu Golden Kings introduction. Thank you for watching, fans. Be sure to like the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one.